Damn. So
What?
you and your exclusive doorman pass, y'all be getting mad packages during Christmas.
Yup.
So you still working in the mailroom.
Yep. Yep. That is facts. Shit is actually worse than the mailroom. Fuck the mailroom. Shit. That was good back in the day. This shit here,
Really?
you in a residential building at fucking 43 floors and over 600 apartments, and majority of these bitches is shopaholics. You fucking right. It's different. So fuck. The only time I'll be like, oh fuck Amazon, you bitch ass Bezos. Have the nerve.
To make it so easy, how dare you?
Yeah, bro. As soon as this motherfucker hit a sale, niggas gotta have a meeting about how we need to get prepared. Like this shit is ridiculous, bro. You gotta prep. You gotta fucking mentally prep to be like, yo, listen, guys, okay.
It's about to
Jeff
be real this
decided,
week.
okay, for some reason, fucking Amazon week happens 4 times a year instead of one. Get ready, guys. All right. Organization is gonna be key. The way they organize and write shit on boxes, shit is absolutely annoying. Motherfuckers, you'll get a box.
You can't write though.
What?
You can't write.
Yeah,
Your handwriting is atrocious.
nah, numbers is fine. We ain't talking about letters. Numbers is good.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
my
yeah.
first and second of all, my handwriting is an artwork form. It's a whole different situation.
This
It's not bad.
that is not
It's
you.
not bad. It's like buying a font.
No.
That's all it is. That's
Mm-mm.
all it is. There's just mine is a different font than most people's.
Your
Basically,
your font don't exist. It
what's this?
literally your handwriting looks like a dog and a cat fighting on paper. You want to do the intro?
Yep.
Hell no. What's going on, family? It's your boy Ian Christie,
And your main man Kenyon Harris.
and we are here again. We done took y'all around the world. We coming back. We took y'all to actually we missed the first part, so technically we just took off and left y'all behind. But that's all right. We took y'all to dealing with friends, finding a support system, building a support system, closure, and we missed out on how to start a relationship. We promised that episode is coming soon. However, today we are talking about work-life balance.
Yes, yes.
Now, a lot of people out there, especially in New York, as a resident of New York, or pre or ex, I don't know which one y'all want to say,
Former.
resident of New York, former resident of New York. That's fine.
Yeah.
I like that word better. Former resident of New York. I can say wholeheartedly that the work-life balance, as to where I am now, is 100% different. So we're going to share our two different perspectives as a person that lives in Georgia, that works from home, and Kenyon, who lives in New York, still dealing with the hustle and bustle of trying to get to work, trying to
Excuse
maintain
me.
work and
Excuse
get
me.
back.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm rocking the hustle and bustle. Excuse me. You already sounded like it's negative. All right.
It's not.
Chill out, Georgian.
No,
Chill
matter
out.
of fact, it
Chill
is.
out.
It is 100% negative.
Relax, Georgian.
New York is not the place. All right, whatever.
Relax. Relax. You just left. Relax. See how
Yeah.
fast you're ready to turn on you? I'm telling you, you ain't gonna be able to come back to New York after this episode. You can get your ass whooped. All right.
Bring
This
it.
is yo. Listen, I'm just gonna watch the video when you beat them up, but it's gonna be a good moment to watch.
Bring it on. Let's get it. Anyway, so we're gonna take you through the difference that we see. Kenny gonna tell you how he got to leave like 2 hours before he start working to get to work, and then he take like 4 hours to get back home at the end of the night. You know what I'm saying? So he at
Okay.
work all day, sleeping on couches and benches on the train station, stuff like
All
that.
right.
But
First off, you
family.
listen.
So
First of all, time out. Time out. First
what?
off,
What?
you only gonna talk about your half. You are no longer a New Yorker, so you can't even do that kind of intro. Okay?
What are you
You're making
talking
us look
about?
bad. You're making us look bad. Let me do it. If I'm doing New York side, you do your Georgia side. Talk
If
about your trees
anyone,
and your leaves and your pollen. All right.
The pollen is
Get
not that
long
bad, yo.
mileage. All right.
Yo,
You know what I'm
that's a fact.
saying? You burning gas like nobody business out
Not
here.
don't
They
not
tell
at
him
all.
sir, I need you to come meet me in the office, and he driving 18 hours just to get over
That's
to the
crazy.
next state. You know what I'm saying? So
That's crazy. No, no. But I will tell y'all this, family. The difference is it takes me here. I'm about to say something that New Yorkers can't believe. It takes me 8 minutes to go 8 miles.
crazy.
Exactly.
I'm not dropping my mic for that, but that's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
8 minutes to go
yeah,
8 miles.
it's
How
facts.
long it take you to go 1 mile in New York, yo?
Yeah, and on a train, baby, less
No,
than
nope.
that.
Driving.
Driving.
Yeah, driving.
I mean, it depends where you're going.
Uh huh.
You know what I'm saying? You got
Hmm.
don't go near the George Washington Bridge a certain time of day. You know, can't do that. You know, for all that, take the train. Okay, don't go over there. You're gonna be fine. All right, it's gonna take you 13 minutes, dude.
And we ain't talking about Atlanta because I don't live in Atlanta, but Atlanta's the same or like damn near on equal grounds as New York.
I
Damn
don't give
near.
them that much credit, but all right.
No, no, yeah, yeah. I'm talking about traffic wise. You know what I'm saying? But because I
Shit,
know in New York, to go 1 mile take like 30 minutes. But you know what I'm saying? That's a different
man,
situation.
the bridge is different. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you go in the opposite way, while everybody going this way, you're gonna be fine. You out here, you could beat that 8 minutes and 8 miles thing. You could destroy that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because Georgia's over there, they don't even speed. They're like Florida people. You know what I'm saying? They still do the speed limit of 37 miles per hour, even though they got all this space. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
the speed limit in New York.
No, 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 no. Mine is 55
Okay.
slash 87.
The speed limit posted in New York is 55, 45,
Yeah,
35, 25.
yeah.
The minimum speed limit posted over here where I live is 35. On the highway, it's 75.
Interesting.
So
See
yeah,
that?
we do the speed limit, but the speed limit is higher than y'all speed limit.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
anyway,
mean, it's fine. You know, we don't
family.
listen to those signs anyways, but keep going.
Anyway, family. Let's get started. Let's get into the episode.
Let's do it.
So, Kenan,
Yep.
how do you feel
Mm-hmm.
about your work-life balance?
So, you know what? This will get into a story, right? Because my work life balance has actually changed dramatically, actually.
Okay.
So, um, before being at the job I am now, the job I used to work at for about nine years, actually, I was there. Um, there really wasn't any work life balance. I think a lot of that played a part of my shift. I essentially had like a morning shift, which was like I think it was like an 8 to 5. And then if there was
You
overtime,
talking about you talking about where we work together?
yeah, but before I got to that particular
Oh,
place,
copy, copy,
there
copy.
was
My
another
bad.
one before that.
My fault.
That place was actually 24 hours where I started. Um,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. So, you know, you had probably 5 team members on each shift, and then the night crew had about three. So, anytime someone called out or they needed somebody, you know, forget it. I'm there anywhere between 16 hours or more daily. I was doing holidays. They told you get paid extra. I'm signing up for holidays. All right. Like it was just no stop. Like I had no such thing as a work life balance. My only thought was I need to achieve, I need to progress, I need to grow, I need to show that I'm reliable for a company to a point where, you know, I just never say no. So anytime they needed me, I did it and I rocked out. Right. But there was no such thing as a work life balance. I don't even think I ever heard of that thing until after years later that there was such thing called a work life balance. I don't know what that was.
and how did that time frame affect your life?
Um, at that point in the beginning of my career there, I was doing all this headway progress in work, but life, not at all. Not at all. So actually, at that time, I had just had a kid, and while my mental was a motivation to work as much as possible to come up with enough income as possible to be able to provide for my new child at that time. Um, I wasn't there much for that new child. My relationship also suffered pretty much too for a while. Actually, it was a point I got called a roommate. When you in a relationship, you get called a roommate. When you walk in, you're like, "Oh, hey, roomie." You like, "What
Yep.
the fuck did you call me, roomie?" It's like, "Yeah, you come in, you leave. That's it. I don't know what." I was like, "Wow, some new shit." All right, you know, every time you try to battle it, like, listen, I'm trying to build something here. You got to get me in. It's like, well, you building over there. You ain't got you this. You ain't non-existent over here. You ain't building none over here.
And
And
I think that's one of the difficulties that men have to deal with a lot.
a thousand
Um,
percent.
as us as providers,
Yeah,
even some women deal with that same situation as being the breadwinner. It's you kind of have to choose between working and being home,
yeah, yep,
and it's hard to distinguish both. I've actually heard a couple of people on videos that have said, like, listen, you either want the money or my time? Which one do you want?
yeah,
I can give you all my time, but we won't have the money.
yeah. And not for nothing, that's been a really big detriment to a lot of relationships. Like I've actually met people where like they're working just as much as me, and then like they come in and they're distraught, and you're wondering why, and they're like, oh, they found their significant other had cheated on them.
Hmm.
And when they talk to them about it, oh, you're just never around. There's nothing here for you. You're not there. You're not present. Even though in the moment you're doing it for them. I think if I could go back to remind myself that every time it was brought up, I didn't have to take it. I always told myself I had to take it. That was my mentality. Like, I have to take this to see that check, to have a little more where I can, because this is when I was getting paid every, 2 weeks. So it's different. I get paid every week now. Life is great. But to move on, and this is how crazy it is that so once I left that place to one where it was a little bit more of a set schedule, um, I still came in with the same mentality, right? And so I was home a little bit more because they weren't open Friday, Saturdays. Well, they were open for Saturdays, but they weren't open Sundays. Where the other place was open 7 days a week, 24 hours. So that's where I was always working. But when I got to the place where me and you began to work at,
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
it by default gave me more time because there were days I couldn't say yes to because there was nothing there to do. So I got a Sunday back and I got a Saturday back where I didn't have before, right? And so that gave me a little view of me being there. And it's funny when you're again kind of like the hustle mentality of New Yorkers. Your only thought is how are we going to get this bag, right? And so for me, it was like, damn, I got less days to get this bag. All right, so let's look at my options. And they're no longer 24 hours here, right? So I can't have it anytime I want it for that flexibility no more, right?
Hmm.
So now they close at 9, not 24 hours. So my schedule I had was from 9 to 6. They closed at 9. So I only had 3 hours to get on the end of that, or I had to come in probably one extra hour when they open and I get it that way. But 4 hours was nothing compared to what I was used to, right? So that was a tough change financially, but home life, I was able to be there and actually really start to develop as a father.
Hmm.
But even then, so it was still the mentality, right? Truthfully, I didn't discover how important work life balance was until COVID. That's when it really hit me, to be honest. Because at that point the schedules changed. I was like one of like four team members from back when it was 18 members, and we only worked at one point 4 hours a day. And we get paid for the whole day, but we only work 4 hours a day as we're trying to figure out what to do during COVID. To have gone to work, come home, and have all this time to be a father was an eye opener. Like I had Like that's when I really, really started enjoying being a dad and just really understanding how much of an impact that was greatly needed, especially for my daughter, right? And it changed me so dramatically. So when we started to go back to regular time, it was like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna say no to this, I'm gonna say no to that.
Yep.
Nah, I got something to do. And the guy used to be like, "Man, you sure you can't move that around? You can't do that." I said, "Nah, it's not negotiable, man. It's." And you start sticking to your ground, And then I left there and came to where I work now, and it was a complete game changer. Like I was extremely happy coming to work every day because my environment was supportive and loving, and there was a lot of like-minded people. And I realized how big that was. That you can love your job, spend 8 hours, and you're good to do 8 hours, and it's not a need to do more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
work life balance for you plays a big role on the environment that you're in. You know.
and the pay went up tremendously. So where I'm at now in my life, I can do 8 hours, be good, have a good time there, come home, be happy being home, not worried that I need to start hustling again to make X amount of money. Like what I have now, I can take care of everything plus more. And I think that's really where it comes from. Once you reach a certain financial stability point where you don't feel like you have to keep hustling anymore, is that when the work life balance actually really kicks in, where a man can be comfortable to actually enjoy that. Because it didn't feel enjoyable when I would come home early and think to myself, all right, if we didn't do nothing, it wasn't productive. I could
Yeah.
have been making money right now instead of spending money. Right
I
now,
remember.
I need to make up from that. You know.
Yeah.
But what about you, man?
I remember
Hmm?
working in New York,
Yeah,
and I remember when we were working at that job together. There was a time that I actually got annoyed because before that job, yeah, I was more stressed. I was a counselor. I was more stressed, and I was working more. Granted, 100%,
yeah,
but my it was there was a shift for me in that time that I started doing overnight on Thursday, which means that I would work from 2 p.m. on Wednesday, and I mean, yeah, 2 p.m. Wednesday,
okay,
and into after Wednesday into Thursday morning, I would be working, right? And I would go home and I would have off Friday, Tuesday, Sunday.
hmm,
Friday, Saturday, and Tuesday. So I was working 4 days a week.
yeah,
And the pay was still the same amount of pay. And then I remember that the stress is what made me jump to working with you.
yeah,
And I remember that I took a pay cut working with you. And the stress of the hustle made me, we had a conversation. And I remember the conversation where I was like, bro, I used to be stressed at work, but good at home. But now I'm stressed at work and at home because
hmm,
of the pay cut. But now,
yeah,
after all that, now being here where I am in Georgia, still I have a better job.
yeah,
Um, I got hired for a company, and that company moved me out to Georgia. I was going to move to Georgia anyway, but they hired me and relocated me, which I took with open arms. And that in itself is amazing. You know what I'm saying? So
for
I was
sure.
able to move my family, get paid like I live in New York, but here in Georgia, that dollar go a lot further. So in New York, my life would have been good, better than it was before.
Yeah,
Um, it would have been good, let's say on a scale of good, great, and excellent. With my pay now, the I would have been great, but with my pay in Georgia,
yeah,
excellent. You
for
know what I'm saying?
sure,
So I'm
for
happy.
sure.
As far as work life balance, I work from home. I do have to go out every now and then. I have meetings and things that I have to do,
Yeah,
but I can. I'm in my office and my son can come up and hang out with me for a bit. I'm on a meeting and I can mute myself and play with my son for a bit while the meeting is going on. So I'm always with my family. So like I have that balance of when the meeting is happening and I'm like, oh, I have to like talk or things are important or I'm making phone calls to a couple of my clients and my wife yelled me at some. I keep saying that. You just got to bring her on.
Nice.
She will take my son and go into like his bedroom to keep it quiet so that I can do the call, or she'll take him downstairs to do the call. So before, both of our incomes were like enough to make us feel okay. Now with my one income, she's not working anymore, so we don't. I don't want her to feel like she needs to work, so she doesn't. Of course, my wife is a go getter though. She's also New York raised, in New Jersey also. So
Yeah.
she of course feels the need to help with stuff she knows she doesn't need to. She runs the expenses.
Yeah.
That is one thing that is very important in the work life balance. If you're managing a lot, you need to be able to have a partner that you can trust to manage some things outside and deal with um, the money.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about paying the bills. Not because my wife is paying the bills with her money, but because she has access to all the cards and she keeps up to date with the bills. You have to play to your partner's strength. She's a
Yeah.
hell of a lot more organized than I am, so she pays the bills. She controls the finances. Like when, yeah, I have to ask her, like, babe, can we afford this? And she'll be like, yeah, all right, cool, boop, and I swipe, cool.
Yeah.
Um, that's how my work life balance is.
I feel you.
So now that we shared both of our stories on work life balance,
Yeah.
how do we get people there?
Hmm.
You have gone on a journey with credit, and you already know I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum of credit. I don't think that credit is. I think credit is atrocious. It's an asinine thing that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
As a person that, um, actually, I have a video that I'm gonna show you in like 2 minutes.
Okay.
um, I'm gonna let you say what you feel about credit. We're gonna keep it short. We're gonna do like probably like
Sure.
5 minutes, whatever,
Sure.
of explanations each. The video I'm gonna show is like 2 minutes. I think it's like one
Okay.
actually.
Okay.
And but yeah, go ahead. Let's go ahead.
All right.
Tell us what you think about
So, all right. So, I mean,
credit.
when
How
I
to
got into
build
credit,
it. What people need it for. Why is it important to you?
all right. So for the millennial youngins out here who aren't up to date on what you need to live in the United States, mainly, um, credit is everything. You can't buy a house, you can't get a car, you can't get any loans. Oh, there are some people who can't even open up a phone line without some sort of built credit. All right. And so, truthfully speaking, and keeping it real with you, the banks set this system up where you will always need them. That's what this whole system is made for them to take the money that you've made and to pay them with it. And they have incentives to help you do that. So, in the simplest terms, is you have to get a credit card at some point in time in your life, and you have to use that credit card as your main source of paying for transactions. And then the money you make is just almost like a different bank to fund your credit card. Best way to put it. So you're going grocery shopping, you're buying movie tickets, you're buying this, you want to hell. Some people, some places you could pay rent with your credit card, right? You use your credit card to do every little thing, and every dollar in which you make goes back into that credit card, which then builds your credit score. Loans also build your credit score. But that's pretty much the way it works right now as we speak. And then obviously we could do a separate video where, important credit cards, watch out for certain traps and cards that really don't matter and
Yeah, we'll
stuff
do
of that
that.
nature. You know, secure credit cards to get you started, where you use your own money to start first, build that up, and then you can go for like the more bigger credit card companies.
We are not financial advisors, family. This is just based off our opinions.
Yep, and our what we've gone through in life.
Yeah,
So I think I love Ian's perspective because I found it so funny because there was a day where he had money to, I think it was to buy like a car, and he was like, I got the money. They won't give. Oh, it was a rental car. I'm sorry. He went to do a rental car,
yeah,
and he went in there. And he was like, "All right, how much rent a car?" They go through the whole process. Cool. It's going to be 600 and change. He's like, "All right, cool. Here's my debit card." He's like, "Oh, no. We need a credit card." He's like, "Why?
yeah.
I don't have a credit card. I got the money. Just take the money out." Nah, gotta have a credit card for that. Just in case something goes wrong, I'll be able to charge a credit card. But I have money for it. Doesn't make any sense. Sorry, sir. Policy. Yeah, you can't even get a rental car without no credit card.
Yeah, that shit is so
You know,
fucking dumb. It is so asinine. It is crazy to, you know what? I gotta wait. Go
nah, you know what?
ahead.
And I remember he called me. He was like, "Yo, bro, you got a credit card, man? This is bullshit." And I was like,
Not,
"Oh yeah, man, you can't. Yeah, you need it for everything." It's like, "Yo, so you telling me if I got $1 million and I could buy a $200,000 house, you know what I'm saying?" And I tell them, "Listen, I want to get the house," and they gonna tell me, or at least I have the down payment for the house. It was down payment for the house,
mhm.
50,000 for the house, and you telling me they not just gonna give it to me? It's like, nah. If you ain't got no record that you've been able to successfully borrow and pay back on a timely fashion, that's how they know they can trust you.
This shit
If
is
you
so
ain't got that record, we're not taking chances. I don't care how much money.
it is so stupid.
So there it
All right,
is.
let me know when you're done.
I'm done.
You already know I'm fuming. Okay.
Oh yeah. I thought I'd start you up. I'll rev you up a little
So
bit. You know what I mean?
listen. Okay, so this is a video from my wife. His name is Dave Ramsey. Shout out to Dave Ramsey. We'll post his Instagram somewhere, and it'll definitely be in the description below. Go follow him. He's a personal finance expert. Okay, my wife brought him up to me. Started listening to his Instagrams. He has a podcast as well. Right.
Nice.
I'm gonna show this video to y'all, and you I want your opinion, but I'm already annoyed. So it's like, but I got
Okay.
here you go. Here you go.
Let's do
Here you
it.
go. Let's do it.
You can get
Hit
a
it.
raise at work tomorrow morning of $1 million a year, and it will not change your FICO score one freaking point. And yet we have people with master's degrees in finance walking around telling Americans you need to build your FICO score. Has nothing to do with whether you're winning financially. 100% of your FICO score has to do with how you've interfaced with debt. Now, if your goal is to be in debt, you should really work on your FICO score. My FICO score is 0. And here's how dumb our culture is, okay? I'm not bragging or anything, but I've been doing this stuff a long time. All of these buildings on this campus are 100% paid for. They're worth, yeah. There's 650,000 square feet here. It's worth somewhere around $500 million, okay? So I can go to the local apartment complex down the road down here that's really nice, because we're in a nice area. And I can walk up and they say, what's your FICO score? And I say, I don't have one. I don't borrow money. And I can't rent an apartment there. Now I can write a check and buy the complex.
Yep.
This is how asinine this is, y'all.
Yep.
You see what I'm
Yep.
saying? How does
Absolutely.
that make sense, bro? How is it that I can have millions of dollars
Mhm.
and don't want to borrow money, but I don't want to buy the place flat out, or I don't want to, showcase my money. I don't want to buy a whole freaking house. I'd rather just rent an apartment. And because my credit score is low, because I don't go to the bank and I don't have, not go to the bank, I don't have a credit card from the bank. So I don't have a credit score. And they're like, yeah, you can't rent here. Why? Because your credit score is low. My bank account says I have $500 million. I can buy this whole complex. and you telling me I can't rent an apartment for what, $1,200, $1,800? Well, let's use New York prices, $2,000 a month. I can't rent that. No, your credit's too low. What kind of bullshit is that, yo? I don't. Family, it is something that you need.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, it is, and it's crazy to me, and I really think it's like a conspiracy because your credit score can go up and down so quickly. No,
yeah,
my bad. Take it back. It can go up fast, but it can drop stupid fast for something that you it slipped your mind. Oh, my credit card payment was due on the 16th, but I forgot about it and I paid it on the 17th, and they dropped my score 32 points. Type thing. Like why
yeah.
is it that it's to that point? If anyone, if any of our listeners out there is a financial advisor and you guys are willing to come on the show, please reach out to us because I need somebody to explain this shit to me. Because yes, Kenny is my homeboy and all that stuff, but him telling me this is just gonna piss me off. So I need somebody else
No,
to tell it to me.
you know what,
Seven six
man?
two 253 0813. Go ahead, Kev.
Listen, and I understand. Listen, don't get me wrong. I completely agree with this man. It is stupid and ridiculous if you have proof of funds. It's true, right? However, there are quite a few reasons why they do this, right? And it ain't. This was made for more of the idea of the masses, not so much more of like the 1%ers or 7%ers or 10%ers who have it together, right? It's for the ones who ain't got it, who don't have the finances like that, scammers. Some people are working probably under the books or illegally. Um, and that was their way of like, okay, we want to verify people who are up and up. Like you could have, I think it's funny, like you could, and it's vice versa too, right? Like if you could have a 800, 900 credit score, but if you reaching only 36,000 a year for a $3,000 studio 1 bedroom apartment, you can't have that apartment, even though your shit is 800, right? So you can't get it if you got the funds without the credit score, and you can't get it if you got the credit score without the funds. Either way, you don't win. You have to have both. But it is set up that way for people to be in debt. It's meant for that. We keep you stuck in life if you overuse these things and we tempt you and it works, right? Like most people will gain extreme amounts of credit lines who pay their bills before they're due, and they'll see that, realize that, and say, oh man, you're doing really well, let's up it. The next thing you know, you're looking, you got like $2,000 more than what you had yesterday. You're like, oh damn, this is great. And then you're doing it still, and then they're like, let's give them 5,000.
So are you saying that these people are giving you money because they want to see how much they can give you before you break?
Yes.
What kind of
And then
yo
if you,
family?
yes, yes,
Oh, it's gonna push me into conspiracy theories, and I don't want to go into that. We're gonna do another episode with that.
that's fine. That's fine. But this is what I'm
Yo,
saying. Like they test you to see, and if you master it and you're fine with the finances and you're good and you ain't fall for it, bet you're golden. Now you got almost damn near $1 million they keep giving you, and you good. And if you're smart with it, you got the right kind of card where you can buy $1 million artwork piece for your credit card, put your $1 million back in that card, and then they gave you 2 times the points. Now you got $2 million, and now you can fly first class for the rest of your, well, not the rest of your life, but at least a couple years of free flights, whether it's chartered or whatever. So they've made it to a point where there's upside. So if you're somebody who follows money, then the only reason why perks exist on credit cards is to attract millionaires, billionaires to want them. It's the only reason. If it wasn't for that, they would continue to have cars that do nothing for you,
yeah,
right? So they had to put out cars that actually gave you something for people who are willing to really spend because they want your money. So that's how you got perks and cards where you could do that. You
Yeah.
know,
So
yeah,
we not gonna get too deep into it. We're gonna do
yeah,
that for another episode.
yeah, that's fine.
Um, remember,
Um,
family, we are not financial
yeah,
advisors. This is all for personal experiences and our opinions. I had to take the credit route now because obviously now I have to establish stuff more for my family. It sucks because
yeah,
I have the money to do a lot of things, and some of those things they're like, nah, you ain't got the credit score.
yeah.
And you're like, bro, I make this much. I have this much right here in your face. You can smell it. And he's like, nah, I can't do it. Like, what are you? Yo, all right, no problem.
Just gonna leave it alone. Listen, let's get back to work life balance to cut this off, right? So credit
Work
thing.
life balance, family.
All right.
Listen, that's the most important thing. Work,
Yeah.
maintain your work schedule. Are you gonna say something?
Well, nah. Well, listen. Here's what I'm gonna say because I wanted to answer the question which you posed, which
Okay.
is like the steps on kind of how you do it. So, for people in my situation, there were steps that had I taken, I would have been in a better financial place a lot sooner, right? But what I noticed, what my problem was, a lot of our problems are, is comfortability and loyalty. Those are two biggest problems at any job that we go to, right? Truthfully speaking, the way you can truly grow really, really fast is you get to the job, you do the job really well, learn other people's jobs, because as you gain knowledge opens up your ability to then gain more capital, right? Don't listen to anybody who's been sitting in the same job you got into, who's telling you don't do extra work they ain't paying you for, because they ain't never gonna pay you to do the extra work. You
Yep.
need to do the work so they know you can do the work for them to have reason to pay you, right? And
Yep.
even if you're gonna have companies who are not looking to say, okay, I see you're doing all this, let me pay you. That doesn't exist either. You actually have to open your mouth. You have to say something. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, family.
In that point,
Definitely. Oh my bad. I was
my
just gonna
fault.
say one
Yeah,
real
go
quick
ahead.
thing. Family, like go back to the episode that we spoke about the sticky situation episode. I forgot what number episode it is.
Yeah.
You'll see that same model that I told y'all that you can't get relationship advice from single friends. You cannot get work advice from people that have been stuck in the same position for years.
Yep. Absolutely. And you listen. That is a lonely road if you're in a job with people who don't care and ain't looking to do nothing but clock in and clock out. They will be your biggest haters. Let them hate.
Mm-hmm.
You do the job. You make that effort. Now, once you're there, and let's say they don't give you the raise, it's fine. Every single company has a competitor. And so you go, you apply for the competitor, let your job know you're leaving because you're a superstar now. And now they have to say, okay, he's too valuable. How much do you want? You'll get your money that way. If you don't get it there, you get it at the competitor. And then once you're rocking out with the competitor, you can go back to the company at a higher position when they have a higher position open, because now you have experience from another spot who knows that you can do the job.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If you were to say, I'm going to jump back and forth for different types of company, whatever field I am, you are going to see substantial growth capital wise, which will allow you to get to your work life balance quicker. Because not for nothing, if there's something that me and him have in cohesiveness is when our financials went up, we were able to be comfortable in our work life balance,
Yeah.
right? And being comfortable at home is part of that. If you're still sitting there saying I need to go back to work because I don't have enough to even survive on, or I don't have enough to provide my family to go on vacations or do different fun things, then that's what you need to do. You need to evaluate where you are right now. If you're one of those people who are not really putting their all in, you need to change that and start putting your all in, and then take those skills somewhere else who's going to appreciate it and play the field, jump back and forth. I promise you that is the way to go
Yep.
to quickly gain what you need to gain. So
Word up. The loyalty to your job. Remember that same loyalty to your job that you have, they will fire you the next day. That's how I left my previous job. I gave them a 2 week notice. They read it. They were like, "Hold on, you can't give us a 2 week notice." Like, what do you mean? Why can't I give you a 2 week notice? They said, "Nah, you're supposed to give us a month notice." And I was like, "All right, forget the 2 week notice. Y'all wouldn't let me know if y'all was gonna fire me," and I left.
There it is.
But I'm not. This is not a message for y'all to just up and jump in and leave y'all jobs. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. But
This is not sound advice, guys. This is just part of an opinion and how we've lived our lives.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah, so, but definitely, Kenyon. I know we running low on time, so
yeah.
you did have an article that you wanted to go over. We got like 3 minutes, so talk to us.
All
Or you
right,
want to say?
so it'll be really fast. I just thought it was interesting when Ian came up with this idea to do this episode. I said, I wonder what statistics show. And statistics, interestingly,
Mhm.
show that 60% of people have claimed that they have a great work-life balance in 2023. And for me, I was shocked to hear 60% globally. That's a lot.
Yeah,
All right.
but I mean, it
But
doesn't sound like a lot to me because a lot of places internationally have, like, Sweden has 4 day work weeks, and like,
yeah,
'cause remember I was planning to move to Sweden, like,
I remember that.
4 day work weeks. They have like the paternity. They have paternity leave for like a year, maternity leave for like 2 years. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Listen, there are some countries that shut down every store has to shut down at a certain time, so everybody goes on break for 2 hours
yeah.
before coming back. Like the whole city shut down. Ain't nobody been nothing, anybody getting bagels, nothing. All right. We having tea and eating these cookies and that's it.
Hmm.
You know. So yes, globally, family, especially if you're in the United States, you're gonna find you need to get to traveling or at least looking up to realize there's a lot better parts of the world out there that do things right and care about people. So the thing for me was, when I looked at that number, though, we're entangled in that number, right? And so I found it interesting. Two things. One is that rose because once COVID hit, a lot of people got to work from home and it changed the entire dynamic because even now after COVID, there is now hybrid schedules where now you only do 2 days physically or 3 days physically and the other two or other three, you're at home
Yep.
with family as he is. And I just think it's an amazing thing, something that was so tragic. There was a miracle and a positive shift that came out of it, at least over here in the States, that was greatly needed
Yeah.
by
It was
companies.
that COVID was a horrible time. Yes, family it was, but for finances and family getting together and work life, it
Yeah,
was a big shift for in a positive way. It
yeah,
made people realize that the job that they were rushing to every day, they could do it at home, and it
yep,
definitely shifted the mental for a lot of people.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then the second and last thing was
Hmm.
a lot of people got let go, so they didn't make the survey.
Yeah. That's true. A lot of people were like, "Yeah, we can't maintain it," which sucks. I'm sorry. We shouldn't have laughed at that shit. But yeah, it did do that. That
Yep.
was the bad part.
Yeah.
But anyway, family, we love you. We're gonna end it right there. We love you. Reach out. We do want a financial advisor. Please feel free to reach out to us 762-253-0813. We would love to set something up, get you on the episode so you can help us help the family figure out a way to help with their finances. I know I'm hoping we can reach out to Dave Ramsey. We ain't got money to pay you, but if you're willing to help us out, then that would be great. Um, because I do like his baby steps, which is another video that I will play when we're talking about how to build the finances.
Dope.
Family, we love you. BX Dynasty 718 at gmail.com. If you want to email us, 762-253-0813. If you want to call or text us, we here.
Yes,
Love and
sir.
chaos. Peace.
Peace.